Bro, whoever said you can build a crazy Dream League team in 1 week is a professional liar. Because tell me why I started this journey thinking, yeah man, 7 days is enough. I'll sign stars, dominate online, and become prime Pep Guardiola. Only for the game to humble me so badly that by day 2 my defenders were moving like they were carrying 20 kilograms of maize flour on their backs. And today, I'm here to prove one thing. Building a good team in 1 week is not football, it is emotional damage. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happened when I tried to build a proper team in just 7 days. And trust me, this game did not cooperate. So the challenge was simple. Start with a weak squad. Grind for 1 week. Buy better players. Upgrade the team. And hopefully become dangerous. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. Because in your head, you think 1 week is enough to build a scary attack, a solid midfield, and defenders who actually know what marking means. But in reality, you end up with 1 decent striker, 3 confused midfielders, and a backline that parts like the Red Sea every time the opponent attacks. And the funniest part is, when you start this challenge, you feel too confident. You're there saying, by the end of the week, I'll have Mbappe vibes. Meanwhile, the team is playing like a group project where nobody did their part. Day 1 started with hope. Fresh mindset. Fresh tactics. Fresh delusion. I looked at my squad and said, you know what? These boys may not be world class, but they have heart. Big mistake. Because heart does not stop a 92 rated striker from turning your center back into a traffic cone. My first few matches were a disaster. Every time I attacked, my striker suddenly forgot he was a footballer. Every time I defended, my defenders were doing, after you, sir. Like, why are you escorting the opponent to my goal? This is not customer service. And then there's the goalkeeper. My keeper was making saves that made me believe in miracles, then immediately conceding a goal that made me question whether he even has hands. At that point I realized, this is not team building. This is survival. Then comes the most dangerous stage of the journey. False hope. This is when you win like 2 games in a row and suddenly think, yeah, we're cooking now. You start feeling smart. You start talking tactics. You start acting like you discovered football. You even begin looking at the transfer market like, yes, this winger would fit my system. What system? Brother, your right back is still getting cooked every match. And that's the biggest trap of trying to build a team in 1 week. You think a few lucky wins mean your squad is improving. No, it just means the game gave you a temporary break before humiliating you again. Because immediately after those 2 wins, I entered a match where the opponent's team looked like the Avengers of football. And my squad looked like they were selected through a church raffle. And this is where I understood the real truth. You cannot build a good team in 1 week because football teams need balance, not just names. A lot of people think building a team is just buy 1 fast striker, buy 1 famous midfielder, and pray. No, a real good team needs chemistry, depth, defenders with functioning knees, midfielders who can pass forward, and attackers who don't shoot like they're aiming for the moon. And in 1 week, you simply don't get enough time to fix everything. Because once you improve the attack, you realize the midfield is dead. Once you improve the midfield, you realize the defense is a crime scene. Once you improve the defense, your striker starts playing like he has beef with scoring. It never ends. That's the pain. You are always solving 1 problem and unlocking 3 new ones. This team wasn't being built. It was being patched like broken software. And can we talk about how expensive everything feels when you're trying to upgrade fast? Because why is 1 useful player priced like I'm shopping in the Premier League black market? You grind for coins the whole day, only to afford 1 player who turns out to have 84 pace on paper, but 14 pace in real life. That should be illegal. Then after buying him, you convince yourself he's good. You start forcing positivity like, nah, he's actually decent if used correctly. Used correctly? Brother, he just got outrun by a defender built like a fridge. And this is how the game traps you emotionally. It gives you just enough progress to keep you addicted, but never enough to make your team truly complete in 1 week. That's not squad building. That's a psychological experiment. So after grinding, struggling, raging, and nearly losing my sanity, I came to one final conclusion. A good team is not built in 1 week. A decent team maybe. A dangerous team? Absolutely not. In 1 week, what you're really building is a foundation, a few good pieces, and a lot of unfinished business. And honestly, that's normal, because the best squads are built over time. You need better signings, smarter upgrades, more matches, and unfortunately, more suffering. A proper team takes patience. You don't just wake up on Monday with bronze-level defenders and become prime Real Madrid by Sunday, unless the game developers are your cousins. So if you've ever thought, I can build a monster team in 1 week, I'm here to save you from disappointment. You can try, you can dream, you can even get lucky. But one thing is certain, this game will humble you. If you want, I can continue this challenge and try to build this squad into something actually scary. So if you enjoyed this, drop a like, subscribe, and tell me, what's the worst player you've ever signed thinking he was a superstar? Because me, I have stories.